Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Super News. I'm Ollie Davis. Press the thumbs up, buy a WrestleTalk t-shirt by clicking the eye above my head, and leave a comment down below because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. We've got a show more packed for you than the TLC card today. Seriously, there's like 12 matches this Sunday with a mystery illness that might affect the WWE pay-per-view. Raw and SmackDown's worst ever week in the ratings. And the latest tease that former Bullet Club megastars Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks might be on their way to WWE. But first, Seth Rollins really needs to figure out how he feels about Monday Night Raw. Everyone's favorite, Kingslayer, opened this week's episode with a scathing promo not just on the kayfabe story of General Manager-elect Baron Corbin making the show so heel-dominated, but also on how the booking has absolutely sucked since Survivor Series and that Raw has suffered record low ratings. Seth, as a babyface, even brought up how backwards it is to book heel two-man team The Revival in unfair handicap matches against babyface three-man faction Lucha House Party, which both bad guys appreciated, with Scott Dawson tweeting, "Seth Rollins knows his professional wrestling," and Dash Wilder observing, "Seth Rollins, good guy," which just makes everything even more confusing. But despite venting his and most of our frustrations on TV, Rollins has now defended Raw on Twitter after news broke that Monday's episode drew a record low rating, more on that in a bit. F4W Online's Brian Alvarez tweeted of WWE's plight, "This is embarrassing." Former WWE producer and writer Jimmy Jacobs then replied, "Writing a 3-hour wrestling TV show every single week is f***ing hard," which prompted Jimmy's former Age of the Fool stablemate Rollins to call out Alvarez for saying pretty much the exact same thing he had about Raw on Raw just 2 days prior. That's the one thing I don't think people understand. 5 hours of live TV every week? Every week! Add in all the extraneous variables that affect the final outcome, and it's a modern miracle that the shows come together as well as they do. I believe the extraneous variables Seth refers to there is how good Vince McMahon's steak was at lunchtime. Bad cow! You and I as fans might see this workload dilemma and helpfully suggest maybe just make Raw 2 hours again? Well, that's why we don't have our own monopolies over the wrestling business, because as Jacobs then explained, money! While as a fan I agree the show should be 2 hours, the bottom line says differently. WWE gets paid way more to have 3 hours of Raw than for 2, so that seems to be off the table. The rebuttal for that, of course, would be that 2 hours actually watched by people will likely be better in the long run than 3 hours watched by nobody, as WWE just suffered its worst week in TV ratings ever. Continuing their run of the worst kind of history-making, WWE beat last week's worst ever rating for Raw, with this Monday's episode achieving the show's lowest ever viewership at just 2.19 million viewers. This is down over 800,000 viewers from the 2017 average. And because an audience decline for Raw often correlates with the same on SmackDown, Tuesday Night managed its third lowest ever rating since the brand split at 1.98 million viewers, which on the plus side is up a whole 1% from the previous week's record low, but also down a massive 20% from the same time last year. Far more important, of course, are your ratings. 59% of you decided Raw was average this week, while 74% were very impressed with SmackDown, giving it a smacktastic. The low TV ratings will hopefully be a wake-up call for WWE to start putting on a better product. Or they could just blame fans for being too negative on social media. Baron Corbin is the kayfabe reason Raw has been so bad recently. Definitely not Vince McMahon. And on Booker T's Heated Conversations podcast, the general manager-elect said his aim is to put on the best show possible. And just because Twitter fans are the loudest, it doesn't mean they're the majority. No, because the majority just don't watch anymore. Twitter gives a bunch of idiots in reality an opinion, and they don't know how to express it appropriately. The language, the insults, all of those things, and it just makes the world seem so unhappy. If you read the Twitter feed, it seems like everyone in the entire world is beyond miserable. Hey, that gives me an idea! The show Baron that Twitter isn't just a miserable bunch of idiots, I tweeted him, "Hey, at Baron Corbin WWE, don't listen to Seth Rollins. I love what you've done with Raw, especially the bit where you whipped into the corner and you slide out the ring and run round the post and slide back in the ring and hit a move. Dancing lady emoji. Please retweet OD Kiss." I really actually like that spot. That's been me being genuine there, as I always am, of course. He deserves more credit for it. And the Deep Six is really cool too. I'm a Baron Corbin fan in the mid card. Just, maybe not in the main event of Raw. See if he's replied. I get so many tweets, sometimes bits get lost. I'll look later. Baron is scheduled to face Braun Strowman in a TLC match at this weekend's pay-per-view, but that all depends on how recovered Braun is after his elbow surgery 3 weeks ago, and that's not the only part of TLC in doubt. Despite having a match scheduled against Drew McIntyre this Sunday, Finn Balor wasn't present on Monday's TLC Go Home episode of Raw. While WWE have claimed on TV that Finn missed the show because of an injury sustained in last week's beatdown, PW Insider revealed it was actually because Balor was suffering from an illness. He was pulled from WWE's South American tour last week after working just one date, and was oddly also pulled from WWE's Madison Square Garden show on the 26th of December the same day. PW Insider speculated that is a sign that maybe something else is up with him. Apparently officials still expect Balor to be able to wrestle on Sunday's TLC show, but now John Pollock of Post Wrestling has corroborated PW Insider's report that Finn is suffering from an illness rather than an injury, adding the mystery sickness requires clearance for physical contact. Physical contact being pretty important for a wrestling match, and Balor reportedly isn't the only WWE star feeling unwell. While this may be unrelated from whatever bug Balor has, PW Insider has since reported at least one more person on the roster is ill, and Alexa Bliss has posted on her Instagram story that she's sick, along with Cage Side Seats reporting that Mandy Rose has also revealed she's ill on her Snapchat social medias, which is thought to be the reason why her advertised SmackDown match with Naomi was dropped from this week's show. Balor is the only one of these three with a match scheduled for TLC this weekend, and hopefully he'll recover in time to wrestle. But the story is bizarrely similar to the several days before last year's TLC show, where both Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns were stricken down with a viral infection, meaning two main matches on the card had to be changed last minute, with the main event seeing Kurt Angle replace Reigns in the Shield's first reunion match to mark his first WWE match in over a decade. Come early next year, WWE might not have to worry about their top stars being taken out by illness or injury, because they can just take New Japan's and Ring of Honors. The Being the Elite gang of Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes and Hangman Page have made their contract situations a central part of their widely popular YouTube show. The Bucks' Matt and Nick Jackson in particular have had a countdown timer teasing when their ROH contracts expire at the end of this year, while Page's storyline has had him being contacted by the mysterious Coach H, a presumed play on Triple H and WWE's reported approach of Hangman last month. Kenny Omega's New Japan deal, where he's the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion, reportedly expires on January 31st. Cody, meanwhile, revealed last weekend that he turned down a recent offer from WWE to return to the promotion. The latest episode of Being the Elite has the final note from Coach H, which Omega, the Young Bucks and Hangman Page read aloud. If you choose to be our next big hire, all cease and desist orders will expire. Sign with the Stooge and we'll wipe your slate clean. You remember my last note? It read Final Battle 2018. The cease and desist orders are likely in reference to the notices WWE gave the Bucks about using the Too Sweet hand gesture on their merchandise last year. And Final Battle 2018 is the ROH pay-per-view that just so happens to be tomorrow, Friday the 14th of December, implying the payoff to the Being the Elite group and their wrestling futures will be revealed. Change for the wrestling faction definitely seems to be imminent, with ROH COO Joe Koff recently admitting he doesn't think Cody Cody, the Bucks, or Hangman Page will re-sign with Ring of Honor for 2019. And the stable all announced their split from the Bullet Club in their other home promotion, New Japan. The Bucks have even revealed they'll have a new logo for the new year, while some are speculating the 10-hour Kenny Omega marathon on America's Access station ahead of Wrestle Kingdom 13 on January 4th could signal his swan song for New Japan. While WWE is a possible destination for the group, the Oddmakers reckon the Elite faction will start their own wrestling promotion, the reported project financed by millionaire Tony Khan, All Elite Wrestling. BetOnline reckon the promotion will announce themselves by the 31st of January as a strong favourite, along with Hangman Page, Cody, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega signing with the new company. What are 10 brilliant Christmas gifts for wrestling fans? Click the WrestleTalk.com link on screen now to find out. And what major WrestleMania 35 plans might have been leaked? Click the video in the top left to learn more. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.